Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. Huge shout out to everybody tuning in. Today's topic, we are rocking with division and we are rocking with the skip counting strategy. So last division video, I showed you how to solve division problems using arrays. This video, I'm going to use the skip counting strategy. Now before I get into the video, I have a question for everybody listening in the chat. Now, you know I end my videos with basketball. So to everybody listening in the chat, I got to ask, should I rock with High School Musical or should I rock with Muhammad Ali? As I'm dunking on people, crossing people up, should I throw in a few Muhammad Ali quotes? Should I hoop and sing some High School Musical or should I do both? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section. If I don't see anybody in the comment section sharing their opinion on that, I'll decide. All right. The first problem. 21 divided by 3. So what I'm going to do is I am going to skip count from 3 to 21. And I'm going to see how many times does 3 go into 21. Now, obviously, if you count by threes, you can count beyond the number 21. But if we're dividing 21, if we're doing 21 divided by 3, we want to stop after we get to 21. We don't want to keep going. So I'm going to count by threes. I'm going to see how many times do I need to count by 3 to get to the number 21. Here we go. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So let me see. How many times did I have to count by 3? So 1. When I get to 6, I counted by 3 twice. When I get to 9, I counted by 3 times. When I got to 12, I counted by 3 4 times. When I got to 15, I counted by 3 5 times. When I got to 18, I counted by 3 6 times. When I got to 21, I counted by 3 7 times. So 21 divided by 3 equals 7. All right, next problem. All right, 35 divided by 5. So for this problem, obviously I'm going to skip count by 5s. I'm going to skip count from 5 to 35. Obviously, we can keep going. We can count by 5s to 50. We can count by 5s to 100. But to solve this division problem, we want to stop at 35. There's no point in going beyond that. So I'm going to count by 5s. And then I'm going to see how many times does 5 go into the number 35. Ready? Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. All right, so I just counted from 5 to 35. So I skip counted by 5 once to get to 5. I skip counted by 5 twice to get to 10. I skip counted by 5 3 times to get to 15. I skip counted by 5 4 times to get to 20. I skip counted by 5 times to get to 25. I skip counted by 5 6 times to get to 30. And to get to 35, I skip counted by 5 7 times. So 35 divided by 5, also 7. Both the answers to our first 2 problems ended up being 7, but that is completely a coincidence. Next problem, I'm going to make sure the answer is something other than 7 because I don't want people getting confused here. All right. $81 divided by 9. So now I'm going to skip count from 9 to 81. So I'm going to write my numbers here. All right. I'm now going to skip count from 9 to, I'm going to skip count by 9s, going from 9 to 81. Obviously, even though it's possible to keep counting by 9s after that, there's no reason to. We're gonna stop right when we get to 81. There's no counting by 9s beyond that because the division problem is 81 divided by 9. So here we go. About to skip count by 9s now. Let's get into it. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81. All right, I just skip counted from 9 to 81. Now I'm going to count. Now I'm going to see how many times did I skip count by 9s to get to 81. So I skip counted by 9s once to get to 9. I skip counted by 9s twice to get to 18. I skip counted by 9s 3 times to get to 27. I skip counted by 9 4 times to get to 36. I skip counted by 9 5 times to get to 45. I skip counted by 9 6 times to get to 54. I skip counted by 9 7 times to get to 63. I skip counted by 9 8 times to get to 72. And I skip counted by 9 times to get to 81. So 81 divided by 9 equals 9. All right, so now it is basketball time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. To those in the chat again, last question before I make the decision. When I hoop today, am I going to be playing basketball and singing some High School Musical? Or am I going to be quoting Muhammad Ali while I'm playing basketball? High School Musical or Muhammad Ali? Put it in the chat. What do you want me to do? Shout out to everybody who hit the like button. Whoever just hit the like button, I appreciate you. In the chat, type though, I'm about to get out the basketball. While I'm hooping, do you want me to quote Muhammad Ali or do you want me to sing some High School Musical? Which one of the two? Type the letter M in the chat for Muhammad Ali. Type the letters HS for High School Musical. I'm going to give you all 10 seconds to decide. If nobody puts anything in the chat, then I'm going to decide which one to do. Hi. Thank you for tuning in. So I'm about to play some basketball right now. While I'm hooping, what do you want to hear? Me singing High School Musical or me quoting Muhammad Ali? Answer that question in the chat. All right. I think I'm going to do both now. Time to hoop. Got the ball here. I'm going to do both. All right. Break left, break right. Bow the defense, and don't be afraid to shoot the outside, Jay. Get your head in the game. Gotta get your head in the game. I gotta get my head in the game. You gotta get your head in the game. I gotta get my head in the game. Gotta get your head in the game. You gotta get my head in the game. You gotta get your head in the game. Woo. I called this method the skip counting strategy. In general, it's the skip counting strategy. I'm skip counting. For example, the last problem, I skip counted by 9s to see how many times 9 went into 81. I gotta get my head in the game. Gotta get your head in the game. All right. I'm gonna quote some Muhammad Ali while I'm dunking it. I wrestled with an alligator. I tussled with a whale. I handcuffed lightning through thunder in jail. I murdered a rock. Injured a stone. Hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. What if we have a larger dividend and a lesser divisor? Great question. I will do some videos where we have a larger divisor, and I will 98,756 divided by 7. I was gonna hoop and then call it, but you know what? Since you put that problem up, why don't I solve that right now? Before I go to lunch, why don't I solve that problem right now? Stay with me because I'm solving this problem just for you. If you were not in the chat, I would be calling it a day, just hooping and calling it a day. But I'm going to solve this problem just for you. Yeah, you're correct. In that situation, the skip counting wouldn't work, but I'm going to show you what would. Okay, so 98,756 divided by 7. Now, obviously, if we wanted to count by 7s, it would take forever to do that. So this is definitely, you're right, not a method we would use for skip counting. But instead of trying to figure out how many times 7 goes into 900, instead of figuring out how many times 7 goes into 98,756, we can figure out how many times 7 goes into 9. So we can forget about these numbers to start off. We're going to figure out how many times 7 goes into 9. So if I count by 7s, 7, 14. So 7 goes into 9 one time. Because 14 is past the number 9. So we can only count by 7s once to get to the number 9. But there's a remainder. So we would have to subtract. So 9 minus 7 equals 2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring down the next digit. We're going to bring down the 8. So now we got to figure out how many times the 7 go into 28. So we're going to count by 7s. So I skip counted by 7 once to get to 7. I skip count by 7 twice to get to 14. I'm skip counting by 7 3 times to get to 21. I'm skip counting by 7 4 times to get to 28. 7 goes into 28 4 times. So the number above the 8, I'm going to put a 4. Now, because 7 went into 28 evenly, I can just do 28 minus 28. There's no remainder for that one. Now I'm going to bring down the 7. So 7 goes into 7 one time. No remainder there. So 7 minus 7 equals 0. Now I'm going to bring down the 5. So 7's bigger than 5, so 7 can't go into 5. So I'm going to put a 0 there. So 5 minus 0, again, equals 5. Now I'm going to bring down the 6. Seven, and I got to figure out how many times 7 goes into 56. All right, so I'm going to count by 7s again. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56. I'm not sure what you mean by that comment. Let me finish doing this, and then I'll address the comment. All right. So I counted by 7 once to get to 7. I count by 7 twice to get to 14. I counted by 7 3 times to get to 21. I counted by 7 4 times to get to 28. I counted by 7 5 times to get to 35. I counted by 7 6 times to get to 42. I counted by 7 7 times to get to 49. And I counted by 7 8 times to get to 56. So 7 goes into 56 8 times. And we have our answer, 14,108. Hold on a second. I'm going to just read the question. I'm going to be real. I wasn't reading the question. I was checking my work, but I ended up getting it right. So we good. All right, now let me read the question. Yes, that is the way we generally use, where we take the first digit and do the remaining digits then. But I want to know the way, how you done this problem like you did with 27 divided by 3. So in a way, I kind of did the problem the same way. The only difference is I just did it one digit at a time. So I still skip counted the same way I would when I was dividing 27 by 3. Oh, okay. Well, like I was going to say, the only difference is that I separated the digits. Can I do it without separating the digits? Yes, but it would take hours. If I were to just count by 7s to figure out how many times 7 goes into 98,000, if I were to do that without doing one digit at a time, it would probably take about 5 hours. Because if I were to keep counting by 7s, it would just it would take absolutely forever. So to answer your question, yes, you could do it without separating the digits, but if you did, it would take 5 to 10 hours to solve the problems. if I kept counting by sevens until I got over 700 or over 900, over 9,000, even if I were to divide it by like 9,000 without separating the digits, it would take absolutely forever. So could you do it? Yes. Is it optimal? No, you want to be as efficient as possible, and it would take absolutely forever. This is one way to escape from the 5 hours. Doing this this method is one way to escape from the 5 hours. There is another method called the box method. I'll be honest, I'm new to the box method, but if you want to learn the box method of division, I have a video where I solve long division problems like this using the box method, and that's it's in my Mr. C Live playlist. Live Math with Mr. C. It's in that playlist. There's some long division problems like this where I solve the problem using the box method. So if you go to that playlist, that's another strategy that you can use for division. All right, that is my video today. Before I log off, do you have any other questions? If you have any other questions, if there's anything else you need help with, let me know, and I'll stay on. I'll do another problem if there's another problem that you want help with. Let me know in the next 25 seconds, though. When this hits 22 minutes and 35 seconds, I don't hear anything, and I don't see anything in the comments. I'm going to log off. But I'll stay on as long as. I'm from Town Plot. I grew up in the Town Plot neighborhood in Waterbury. Good question. Are there any other math-related questions? Which country? The United States of America. I'm in this is the United States. Are you not from the USA? What country are you tuning into? If you don't want to tell me in the chat, that's okay. You don't have to tell me. Oh, wow. All right. Shout out to India. Yeah, tell your friends about this channel, man. Anybody, I appreciate anybody tuning in, watching, anybody that has any questions. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for the questions. Before I log off, any more math-related questions? That is true. Learning the foundational skills in math is a must to advance, because everything builds. Being able to fluently add, subtract, multiply, and divide, everything in math builds off of that. So I would definitely say it's a must. Are there ways to solve more complicated problems if you're not fluent with those 4 operations? It's possible, but it's a lot harder. It's definitely a lot harder if you don't have the foundations down path. But yeah, I definitely recommend you practice those foundational skills every day, even if it's just for 5-10 minutes a day. Discrete mathematics, I'd have to get back to you on that. Discrete mathematics sounds complicated, but again, I think I would say that knowing the foundational skills, knowing the four operations, that helps you in every area of mathematics going that's a level up. Because I found that with math, everything builds on the previous skill. All right, going back to foundation. Is there another problem that you want me to do? Put it in the chat if there's another problem that you want me to get working on. All right. All right, going once, going twice. Last call for additional math problems or additional math related questions. All right. I'm going to call it a day. Thank you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to be going live at least Monday through Wednesday. Oh, I see, Matt. What do I think about prime numbers? What do I think about them? I mean, I haven't really given them much thought, to be honest. So a prime number, that's a number where its only factors are the number one and the number itself. So 29 would be an example of a prime number because the only factors in the number 29, the only numbers that you can multiply, divide evenly within the number 29 are the number 1 and the number 29. So the number 29 would be an example of a prime number. The number 2 would be an example of a prime number. The number 11 would be the example of a prime number. At some point, I will do a video on prime numbers. I don't want to get too sidetracked though. This live is supposed to be mainly division. Any other questions? That's true. That's true. That is correct. Very smart. Yes. There are infinity numbers. Numbers are infinite. They're ongoing. Never stop. Yeah, we can say that. Prime numbers are only two factors. The number one, the number itself. So if there's a number with any other factors in it besides the number one, the number itself, it wouldn't be prime. For example, the number 49 would not be a prime number because there's other factors in addition to 1 and 49 that go into it. 7 goes into 49. So 49 would not be a prime number. For it to be prime, the number one and the number is the number one, the number itself would be the only two factors that go into it. You know that 3 has a 1 and a 3, but what about other numbers that we don't even know? Well, it takes time. You got to learn them. But you can, little by little. You ever heard the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day? Step by step, you get a tiny bit better every day. It means that we just following the patterns. Basically, yeah, following the patterns. If you mean following the patterns, knowing what order, knowing how to skip count different numbers, that definitely helps. Knowing how to count by threes, how to count by fives, how to count by tens, knowing how to count by all the single digit numbers will definitely help you be able to find factors. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for all the comments. If you're not already, please subscribe and share this channel. All right. Have a good rest of the day.